Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia. Welcome back to the Overwatch Contenders Roundup. So, we have 3 regions to go through in Contenders Trials this time around, where we saw the NA and EU regions. We talked about them last week, and this week we're going to talk about China, we're going to talk about South America, and we're going to talk about Australia. So we're going to start off in China first of all, and we saw this as a group stage, 2 groups of 4. We saw this in a similar format in NA and EU. So we'll go through the fixtures and we will go through the teams we saw in there. So the teams we saw were Rising Stellar Gaming, Ignite 1, the new Academy team of the Guangzhou Charge, Cosmos of Veritas Gaming, EAG, Zenith of Optimism, LV Jing EP, X Gaming, and Super Sugar Rush. Oh my goodness me, I can't talk for some reason. But in Group A, we saw EAG, Zenith of Optimism, Rising Stellar Gaming, and Super Sugar Crush. And these fixtures worked out as Rising Stellar Gaming losing 3-0 to EAG. Zenith of Optimism would then get a 3-2 victory over Super Sugar Rush. Then we saw Rising Stellar Gaming losing 3-2 to Zenith of Optimism. EAG would then get a 3-0 victory over Super Sugar Rush. Then we saw Rising Stellar Gaming get a 3-0 victory over Super Sugar Rush, and EAG would get a 3-1 victory over Zenith of Optimism, meaning that EAG would finish at the top of the standings in Group A with a 3-0 match record. Zenith of Optimism would finish second with a 2-1 record, both going through. Rising Stellar Gaming and Super Sugar Rush would miss out this time around. In Group B, we saw Ignite 1, Cosmos of Veritas Gaming, LV Jing EP, and X Gaming. Cosmos of Veritas Gaming would take on Ignite 1. This would be a 3-0 win for Ignite 1. LV Jing EP will get a 3-2 victory over X Gaming. Cosmos of Veritas Gaming will get a 3-2 victory over LV Jing EP. Ignite 1 will get a 3-0 victory over X Gaming. Cosmos of Veritas Gaming will get a 3-1 victory over X Gaming, and Ignite 1 will get a 3-0 victory over LV Jing EP. This means that Ignite 1 would go through as winners of Group B, not losing a single map with that 3-0 record in their matches. Cosmos of Veritas Gaming would go through as second place with that 2-1 record, and LV Jing EP and X Gaming would miss out and go to Trials Week 2. We had a tiebreaker where we saw RSG, or Rising Stellar Gaming, taking on LV Jing EP. LV Jing EP will get a 3-1 victory. This means that LV Jing EP will also go through to Overwatch Contenders Week 1 in China, so congratulations to them. Ignite 1 looking incredibly strong though, and it'll be interesting to see how they do in the main Contenders tournament. But now, we move on to South America, where we saw Ignis 6, Logic Geek, No Ping Esports, Burnout, Darkmode Esports, Vlog de Caminhoneiro, I hope I'm saying that right, Coquinha, Gelada, and Valhalla Squad. I'm going to shorten some of these names because I'm probably going to butcher them, so I apologise for that. But this was back to the normal bracket format that we saw in the first season of Contenders across the globe. So this is a double elimination bracket, and we will work through it starting at the quarterfinals. Ignis 6 took on Valhalla. This was a 3-0 win for Ignis 6. No Ping took on Darkmode. This is a 3-0 win for Darkmode. Darkmode transferring from another region, I believe it was NA. Darkmode seemed to want to conquer the world or something. Logic Geek took on Coquinha, and this would be a 3-0 win for Coquinha. And Burnout took on Vlog, and this would be a 3-1 win for Vlog. In the losers bracket round 1, we saw Valhalla take on No Ping. This would be a 3-2 win for No Ping, and Logic Geek would take on Burnout, and this would be a 3-0 win for Burnout. In the semi-finals of the winners bracket, we saw Ignis 6 taking on Darkmode. This would be a 3-2 win for Darkmode, and Coquinha would take on Vlog. This would be a 3-0 win for Vlog. In the losers bracket round 2, Coquinha dropped down to play No Ping. This would be a 3-2 win for Coquinha. And Ignis 6 took on Burnout, and this would be a 3-2 win for Ignis 6. In the losers bracket round 3, we saw Coquinha take on Ignis 6, and they would get a 3-2 victory over Ignis 6, moving on to the losers bracket round final. But in the winners bracket round final, we saw Darkmode Esports taking on Vlog. This would be a 3-0 win for Darkmode Esports, and then in the losers bracket final, we saw Vlog taking on Coquinha. This would be a 3-0 win for Vlog. So, the winners of the losers bracket are Vlog, and the winners of the winner bracket are Darkmode Esports, both of which will move on to the South American Contenders for Season 2, and there may be some more placings coming in, and I'm not sure how that's going to be chosen, shall we say, because I believe there's 4 spots. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. But that is your result for South America. Again, it's very weird at the moment with all this new format, so sometimes we're not quite aware of how things work out. But now we move on to Australia, because Australia is, again, still going, unlike the Pacific. It's amazing, isn't it? But again, they are still in a bracket style just like South America. So in the Australian region, we saw No Scrim Bucks, Paradigm Shift, I40, ADSL2+, Husk Gang, Kraken Esports Club, Memento Forgiver, and Power Anchors. We will know some of these names from previous Contenders seasons. Certainly Paradigm Shift, certainly ADSL2+, certainly Kraken. And they're all well-known names. Anyway, in the quarterfinals, we saw No Scrim Bucks taking on Power Anchors. This was a 3-2 win for Power Anchors. ADSL2+ would take on Husk Gang. This would be a 3-0 win for Husk Gang. Paradigm Shift would take on Memento Forgiver. This would be a 3-2 win for Paradigm Shift. And I40 would take on Kraken Esports Club. And this would be a 3-2 win for I40. Very interesting to see some close matches in the early quarterfinals. In the losers bracket round 1, we saw ADSL2+ take on No Scrim Bucks. This would be a 3-0 win for No Scrim Bucks, and Kraken Esports Club would take on Memento Forgiver, and this would be a 3-1 win for Memento Forgiver. In the winners bracket semi-final, we saw Power Anchors take on the Husk Gang. This was a really close match, but Power Anchors would get a 3-2 victory, and then Paradigm Shift would take on I40, and this would be a 3-0 win for Paradigm Shift. Paradigm Shift have always been a fairly good team in trials, shall we say. In losers bracket round 2, we saw I40 taking on No Scrim Bucks. Again, a really close match, but a 3-2 win would see I40 go through, and Husk Gang would take on Memento Forgiver, and this would be a 3-1 win for Memento Forgiver. In the losers bracket round 3, we saw I40 take on Memento Forgiver, and this would be a 3-1 win for Memento Forgiver, with them proceeding on. In the winners bracket final, we saw Power Anchors taking on Paradigm Shift. This was a 3-0 win for Paradigm Shift, and they would move on to the grand final. We didn't see a grand final in South America, but we do in Australia. And in the losers bracket final, we saw Power Anchors taking on Memento Forgiver. This would be a 3-0 win for Memento Forgiver, with them proceeding on to the grand final, where they could take on Paradigm Shift once more. A rematch of the quarter-final, where they narrowly lost 3-2, and once again, this is a really, really narrow match, with Paradigm Shift squeaking out a 4-3 victory, which is extremely close. It goes all the way to 7 maps, which these matches actually can, especially in the grand final stage. And I think we all love seeing matches go the distance, especially when you get to grand finals, and I hope the Overwatch League goes to that distance as well. Anyway, that's another story, but big congratulations to Paradigm Shift on getting their win in Trials for Australia, and that rounds us out for the 3 regions. There's going to be 4 teams that advance to Contenders in Australia, so I'm assuming it's going to be Paradigm Shift, Memento Forgiver, Power Anchors, and I40. I am presuming, considering that was the 4 top teams in the bracket. And in the South American region, we will see the top 2 go through, so that's Darkmode and Vlog. And in China, obviously, we've already been through that, and it is the top 4 teams that will be going through. That's Ignite 1, Cosmos of Veritas Gaming, Zenith of Optimism, and EAG. And they will all be going through to the main Contenders tournaments, which will be taking place not very far away from now. In fact, some of them have already started, including the Chinese region, which is all going to be super duper interesting. We will cover them in another video. The Chinese region is done on a week by week basis, so they'll have more weekly trials tournaments and stuff like that. Whereas South America and Australia, they go straight into Contenders, and they will be doing that as a round robin standing sort of things. So they do the standings, then they do a playoffs in Australia, and in the South American region they will be doing it as a 4 tournament sort of thing. I think they do 4 tournaments and then a playoff, and we get the points tallies like we got last season in the Contenders regions. So that should be interesting, and I hope it all works out. It's a shame we don't get to see the Pacific. It's a shame that we don't have that extra region to cover. The only region we have not covered in Trials is the Korean region, which is yet to kick off. That kicks off very, very soon. I believe it's tomorrow when this video is coming out, where we will see GC Busan Wave, Talon Esports, SGA Esports, Starlight, Team Diamond, Impossible to Measure, Normal, and Blossom. And we will see who out of those teams. There's 2 spots to go to Korean Contenders for Season 2. And Korean Contenders for Season 2 is awesome because it gets us back into a group-based, league-based format and a special sort of playoffs, which is going to be super duper interesting. It's always lovely to see some Korean Contenders action. But I'm going to leave it here for this one. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then!